Once someone is arrested, prosecutors have just 24 hours to file charges. If they don't, the suspect must be released. The St. Louis City Police Lab used to routinely take less than a day to test suspected drugs seized by officers. But that stopped a year ago because the lab was going through a re-accreditation process. Since that time, the cops have made more than 3,100 drug arrests, but the lab has only done 24-hour testing on 1 out of every 84 cases, which means a lot of suspects are back in their old neighborhoods the very next day. Ray Mitchell has seen the impact of that revolving door in his South St. Louis neighborhood, where he says many people are afraid to turn in drug dealers. The revolving door turned deadly 2 months ago when Carlos Boles opened fire on police trying to arrest him. Boles killed a deputy U.S. Marshal and wounded 2 law enforcement officers. Boles was also killed. 5 months earlier, Boles had been arrested on suspicion of having heroin and for assaulting a cop. But despite Boles' long criminal record, police waited a month to test drugs in the case, and the prosecutor wouldn't file charges without those test results. So Boles was released from jail, and that meant he was back in Ray Mitchell's neighborhood the day after he was arrested. During an interview in March, Circuit Attorney Jennifer Joyce blamed police for not testing the drugs immediately, insisting quick results would have prompted prosecutors to file charges while Boles was in jail. She said it's likely a high bond would have been set, and Boles probably would have been behind bars instead of shooting at a bunch of cops.
Mr. Boles would never have been released if they would have analyzed these drug results.
Applied for those charges.
Exactly.
You would have filed those charges.
Exactly.
Joyce said if the police department isn't going to increase the number of priority tests, then it should allow officers to use portable tests.
Why are we not spending $2.50 to do a field test that would at least give us enough information to go forward on?
But Police Chief Dan Isom, who is concerned about the accuracy of those field tests, has refused to use them. During an interview 2 months ago, Isom said even though police only requested a single misdemeanor charge against Boles, the circuit attorney still had enough evidence to file the charges that would have kept him in jail.
Citizens are fed up with it. They see this as a revolving door. Officers are fed up. They're getting hurt and injured. And personally, I'm fed up with it.
If Carlos Boles wasn't enough of a threat to justify an immediate drug test, who qualifies? Police identified 37 suspects who were charged in drug cases that used those 24-hour tests during the last year. Many of them have long rap sheets for drugs and violence. But our investigation also found that several were charged only with misdemeanors, and some were released from jail after posting little or no bail. Example, Carolyn Noble charged with 3 misdemeanors for allegedly pushing a cop and having a small amount of marijuana. Judge Elizabeth Hogan set Noble's bond at $250 cash. Yerkeem Jones charged with 1 misdemeanor count of marijuana possession. Judge Hogan also set his bond at $250 cash. Maurice East was charged with felony heroin possession, but released without bond. Judge Jack Garvey ordered East to participate in drug court. The police may have considered those suspects and their associates serious threats to the community for reasons not known in court records, but it appears no one told the judges.
We are putting people through this system, and it's like a revolving door.
Sound familiar? Ray Mitchell sees it every day. During our brief visit to his neighborhood, we found police making 2 arrests not far from the place where Carlos Boles refused to be taken alive. Despite the changes in testing, the St. Louis City Lab is still one of the fastest and most productive labs in the state, recently averaging a 3-week turnaround on drug tests. I made repeated attempts to interview the judges, the circuit attorney, and the police chief on camera for this story, but they all declined, saying the cases are pending. Craig Cheatham, News 4.